We have almost a perfect day here, as you see by our NBC telecopter, as it comes in on Dodger Stadium, a packed and jammed crowd, temperature in the mid-70s, very little breeze, just a gorgeous October afternoon with the starting pitchers, a right-hander, Andy Messersmith for the Dodgers, against the left-hander, Ken Holtzman for the Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody. I'm Kurt Gowdy of NBC Sports. With me today will be Vin Scully and Tony Kubek, and welcome to the World Series. The Oakland A's are right on target. They've already had a fist fight yesterday. Their owner's being sued for $2.5 million by a former player, Mike Lewis. The players are still squabbling. Catfish Hunter says he may play out his option. And the starting pitcher today, Ken Holtzman, says this may be his last year. And an hour before game time, they still didn't know who the 25th man in the squad. But they're right on target into another World Series, their third in a row. They're the defending world champs, going against the youthful Dodgers, who are back in for the first time since 1966. They draw immensely here, 2,600,000 this year. The Dodgers put good players on the field, and one of the reasons for their success here in Los Angeles is the man they put behind the microphone, Vin Scully, who will go down as one of the all-time great baseball broadcasters we've ever had in this country. Vin, it was a marvelous year for the Dodgers. They were the winningest team in baseball.
Thank you, Kurt, and hi, everybody. It was indeed a great year. It's been a long time, 8 years since we've gotten into a World Series, and a chance for me to visit with you on the air. 102 victories over an excellent Cincinnati ball club, winning 3 out of 4 against a very good Pittsburgh team. I know they're loose and looking forward to having a lot of fun.
Every park, Vin, has this little twist. This is a beautiful ballpark, but there's some things the fans may be looking for today that you can go over with them.
Well, I think the first thing, as beautiful as it is, if you're playing the outfield, you might not think so, especially left and right. You see dugout seats below the level of the ground. That was an idea used by the Japanese, and Walter O'Malley adopted that idea when he built Dodger Stadium. But it makes it difficult in that layer cake, colorful background for the left and right fielder to find the ball. Also, under these conditions of a World Series, foul territory has disappeared, and it would not surprise anybody in Los Angeles if Bill Buckner runs right through the bunting after a foul ball. There's just no territory down there. The third thing, it looks like a normal infield. It is the most difficult infield to play in the big leagues without a doubt. First of all, because of the composition of the ground, and second, because they don't get any rain here. It is very difficult to get a true bounce here, and during this series, we'll see several bad hops, I'm sure. And one other note, if you're the first baseman, you have to watch throws coming out of that shirt sleeve crowd. That was made famous in the '63 series. Joe Pepitone lost a throw by Clete Boyer, and it contributed to the Dodger sweep. But it's a jewel. It's a magnificent ballpark.
The odds makers are hesitant to name a favorite. The two teams seem to be that evenly matched in pitching, in hitting, in speed on the bases. The one edge that would appear to be evident here is the A's have the previous World Series experience with 2 behind them. Let's find out more now from the player standpoint about this '74 World Series. And down on the field we go as Tony Kubek taped an interview before game time.
You defer to the visiting club, and let me talk to Sal first.
My pleasure, Tony.
Okay. What about the World Series experience? 19 of 25 A's players have been in World Series competition. Is that going to give you an edge?
Well, Tony, I think it might be very small because I feel the playoffs hold more pressure than any World Series game, maybe with the exception of the 7th game. And the Dodgers have been through the playoffs and a tough series with Pittsburgh. So I think if you've been through a playoff, that's just as much pressure as a World Series.
Steve, what about your feelings? You've got just 3 Dodgers who have seen some World Series activity. What do you think?
Well, Tony, I think a lot of times the enthusiasm will make up for the inexperience. Of course, like Sal said, we're through the playoffs now. That was just as much anxiety and tension, I think, as possibly a World Series. And we're just looking forward to meeting head-on-head with this team. You know, we're out to prove one thing, and I know Sal's team is out to prove that they're world champions. They've done it twice. They're out for it again. It should be interesting. They're digging trenches around the field now for this war.
You know, they always talk about the power and the starting pitching and the speed and the defense, but to me, an important factor in this World Series is going to be those 2 bullpens with Fingers, of course, Mike Marshall.
Well, I think Marshall has the advantage that he'll come out, say, every day with probably more experience than Raleigh coming out every day. If we have to use Raleigh more than a couple innings, well, then we have to go to our left-handers. So that can be a factor. But if you get good starting pitchers, in which we feel we have, that you might only need them for an inning or so.
You guys do well against left-handed pitchers, and 2 of the 3 starting pitchers for the A's are left-handed. Do you like that?
Well, Tony, just like against Pittsburgh in the playoffs with Jerry Royce and, of course, with good-looking guy here.
This might be the smartest comment we'll get out of any of the 3 of us. You know that? What do you say, Charlie O? Stop upstaging the players, Charlie. Gosh, Charlie, I've had over that stuff. Sal Bando and Steve Garvey, good luck in the World Series. Let's go back upstairs.
Now here's Andy Messersmith warming up. Vin Scully knows him well and carry you along with him.
Well, Kurt, first of all, if you look in the statistics, it says that Andy Messersmith is the 2nd strikeout pitcher in the league, back of Steve Carlton. Forget that. He has not been a strikeout pitcher for quite some time. His last game against Pittsburgh, in 7 innings, he did not strike out a batter. His start before that, he struck out 3. So forget the fact that he was 2nd in the league in strikeouts. He does not have a curveball consistently anymore ever since he hurt his elbow. And, of course, this is a fastball hitting club. If he has his curve today, he'll pitch a very good ball game. If he doesn't, he'll be in a lot of trouble.
The first man Andy Messersmith faces is Bert Campaneris, who for the year hit .290, had 2 homers, 41 runs batted in. He was a star in last year's World Series. It was between Campaneris and Jackson for the most valuable player of the series. Jackson won out. The first pitch of the 74 series is a ball as Campaneris bluffed the bunt. The 2 men in the top of the Oakland batting order, every opponent tries to keep them off the bases. They're electrifying when they can get on, and they put an early pressure on. A 1-0 delivery, and again he bluffed the bunt and took a breaking pitch for a strike. 1-1. Bill Norris on deck. He'll be followed by Sal Bando. Messersmith is no stranger to the A's. They used to face him in the American League when he pitched for the California Angels. The 1-1 delivery. There's a high fly ball out in the left center. Going back is Jimmy Wynn. Back, he's got it. Right on the edge of the warning path, going away.
And then I think we got an example of what you talked about at the start of the game, that background, the white shirts, the glare, and Jimmy Wynn circled the ball just a bit, and he could not take his eye off that ball for fear of losing it.
There's one other thing here. The warning track is 20 feet from the wall. Up at Oakland, it's only 10 feet. So he's a little more familiar with that dirt area here.
Wynn says he's played here all year, and it still bothers him, the sun out there, and the bank stands. Bill North. A ball to him. North came over to the A's in a trade with Chicago as a utility player, and he's blossomed now as an outstanding Major League center fielder. A strike to him. 1-1. He hit .260 for the season. 4 homers, 33 RBIs. This is his first World Series. He missed last year's World Series with an ankle injury. 2 balls and a strike. 1 out, nobody on. First inning. Sal Bando on deck. And then Reggie Jackson. Say has crept in at third. He wasn't around on a fastball up high. North, a switch hitter and a spray hitter. He hits with more power actually when batting right-handed. Pops a foul out of play. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. There's a tapper down to Ron Say at third. He fires across. You have to unload in a hurry on North. He can get down that line.
I was waiting for that pitch. It's the first one he's thrown. I would say Andy Messersmith has the best changeup, certainly in the National League, and one of the better ones I guess we've ever seen. And North hit it off the end of the bat, which, of course, is what it's designed for.
Sal Bando hit .243. It was a hard .243. He had 22 homers and 103 RBIs. He led the A's in runs batted in. He hit 2 homers in the playoffs against the Orioles. A strike to him. Bando was second in the American League in runs batted in to Jeff Burroughs. His teammate Joe Rudy was third. Outside, 1-1. I asked Messersmith if he changed much since he moved over to the National League, since facing the A's. He said no, and he backed Vinny up. He said, I've just perfected my changeup. It's a lot better than it used to be. That's a strike on the corner. He took a little off again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bando is being played as a dead pull hitter as we look at Reggie Jackson on deck. 2 down, nobody on, no score. Foul ball. Like a sinker that time. Lifetime record against the A's in the American League. 4 wins and 4 losses for Mr. Smith. And he's 5 years in the American League. He's not faced the A's since 1971. Into the dirt. The count levels off at 2-2.
Interesting note on Steve Yeager to show you what can happen to a ball player. Opening day, he was sitting in the bullpen. Opening game of the World Series, he's the starting catcher.
Now remember, he was unhappy about sitting in the bullpen.
Isn't everybody?
Yeah, right. You wouldn't want him otherwise. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on. Bando fouls it away. He's the leader of this team, the captain. Very solid type individual, a solid type ball player, a solid man off the field. Players go to him with their troubles. Talk to him. He's very definitely a managerial prospect. Fouls it back again, ripping away at the fastball.
Kurt, we might interject one other thought about Dodger Stadium. In the daytime, on a warm day like today, the ball travels much further. That's why that ball by Campaneris sent wind so far.
The 2-2 delivery. 3-2 to Bando. He's our expert on Italian food in the West Coast. Last night, he had room service. No spaghetti. Here's a sign being given now, and he'll set the target. 3-2 count. Foul back. The A's, as the Dodgers, are mostly fastball hitters. They like high fastballs. Bando try and keep the ball down on him in the American League.
Andy is basically a home run pitcher because of his control.
There's a fly ball out to left field. Coming on is Buckner, waiting. Sun bothers him, puts it away. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of the first half inning, no score. Old Kenneth Dale Holtzman, who won a big one in the playoffs last Sunday, shutting out Baltimore on the mound.
He has become a control pitcher since coming over to the American League, and he's done well in postseason ball games with a 3-1 record.
And he's done well against the Dodgers when he was in the National League, beating them 14 times against 5 losses. Dave Lopes leading it off, and Holtzman drops behind him 2-0. Lopes, a .266 hitter this year, with 10 homers, 35 RBI. The top base runner on the Dodgers. They're shorting up at the corners against him. Buckner's on deck, and then Jim Wynn. That's a strike of the knee.
He doesn't bunt very much.
Here's that sun problem Vin was talking about. You look up in the sun and you see that bank, tears, and the shirts up there. Hard to pick up the ball right off the bat immediately. 3-1. Holtzman has a fastball that tails away from a right-handed batter. Curveball, a slider, and a changeup. He's in with a fastball, 3-2. He allowed only 1 hit the first 7 innings last Sunday against Baltimore. That's strike 3. He caught him looking with a fastball. That's grabbed the outside corner. Well, Lopes is out, and Bill Buckner's coming up. All Buckner ever does is hit 300. He hit 300 in the minors. He's a .314 hitter this year. 7 homers, 58 RBI. He makes contact, Ben.
I was just going to say, for 5 weeks in August and early September, he carried the ball club. Watch and see if he loses his bat swinging. If he does, he's in trouble.
That's a strike of the knees for Holtzman. 0-1. Holtzman this year won 19 and lost 17. He's been very consistent since he joined the A's. That was a curve a little bit outside. He's won 19 games, 20 games, then 19, as Walter also watches him work.
Buckner will bunt.
1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on, no score. Breaking pitch low and away. 2-1. He slid his hands up the bat handle. Bando was ready to dash in from third. Bando's at third, Campaneris at short, Green at second, Tennis at first. That's a fly ball in the left field. Long chase for Rudy, comes over, can't grab it, it's in. Buckner makes the big turn. Rudy considered by many the best defensive left fielder in baseball, holds him to a single. Rudy has been a great World Series player. And he got over there and held that looper to a single. Many left fielders, it would have been a double the way Buckner can run.
One of the reasons Buckner has been hitting 300 is his ability to go with the breaking ball against a left-hander the other way.
Here's Jim Wynn up, hit 271 this year, 32 homers to lead the club, and 108 runs batted in. The Dodgers have outstanding right-handed power. And in the playoffs against the Pirates, they tore up the Pirates' left-handed pitching.
Buckner is a very good base stealer. He stole 31. He was only caught 13 times. They have to watch him.
Leaning a bit. There he goes. There's a high fly in the left field. Joe Rudy comes on, has the sunglasses down, puts it away for the second out. Buckner was running on the pitch. 2 down. Buckner back to first. And Steve Garvey. 111 RBIs for Garvey. A tremendous final game of the playoff against the Pirates with 2 homers. He hit .312. I think 3 games in a row without a hit was his longest bad streak of the year, wasn't it, Ben?
That's right. He has 4 arms like the village blacksmith. And against the Pirates, he hit a low line drive over the right center field fence, 385 away.
2 down. Buckner at first. Garvey was reminiscing today about his football days at Michigan State, and he said, it's odd. My first World Series. There goes Buckner. They may have him here. The throw down, and he is out. They waited as he tried to slide around the tag. So they got him hung up. 1 hit, nobody left. At the end of the first inning, no score. And as we look down at Dodger Stadium, Reggie Jackson starts it off in the second inning for the A's. He'll be followed by Joe Rudy and Gene Tennis. Jackson says he's 80% physically capable for this series. A strike.
Let's take a look at that pickoff. Holtzman finally gave him his good pickoff move after 2 poor ones. And Tennis gets rid of the ball very quickly. Take too much time or go down for the tag. That runner can beat the throw. Buckner, a very aggressive base runner, but he guessed wrong.
A 1-strike pitch to Jackson is outside. Jackson was out of the ballpark at 8 o'clock this morning, taking Whirlpool cortisone shots for a pulled hamstring muscle. He was a designated hitter in the playoffs. It doesn't go in the World Series. So he has to run now and play the outfield. And can't come up. There's a long drive to deep left, going and gone. Jackson is homered to the opposite field. The kind of power that he has, he can hit some of the longest shots in baseball. That's the kind of power that he had in last year's World Series.
Kurt, we mentioned earlier that Andy is a home run pitcher because of his control. He's right around the plate all the time. He led the Dodger pitchers in home runs allowed with 24. So it really is no surprise that a home run hitter hits one off him.
Well, the A's are on the board. They lead 1-0. Nobody on, nobody out, and Joe Rudy up. Rudy hit .293 this year, 22 homers, 99 RBIs. The ball 1. One of the most peculiar stances in baseball, you'll note. An extreme close stance, spread apart. He's no longer underrated. You've seen him enough now nationally to appreciate his outstanding ability. Fouled away, and he seems to get better every year. He's a self-improver. He's a motivator.
I think most baseball men watching the American League and watching Oakland in particular would say that he is the toughest out. You might get him out, but he'll burn your hands.
He can go to all fields. There's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Joe Rudy's on. The A's weren't a hot-hitting team at the end of the year. And, of course, they didn't hit too well in the playoffs. Nobody could against that Baltimore pitching. They had a 1 hit in the final game of the playoffs to beat Baltimore. But it's a team that makes them count. Gene Tennis, for example, hit just .211, but he had 26 homers and knocked in 73 runs and led the American League in walks.
Another point to make early. Notice how many times Oakland has made contact when the hitters swung. In other words, Andy is not the strikeout pitcher that those early numbers would have indicated.
As Garvey holding against Rudy, he stole only 2 bases all year. A strike. Breaking pitch of the knees to him. The A's ahead, 1-0, second inning. Rudy at first, nobody out. A ball. Tennis, an unknown name in America 2 years ago, hit 2 home runs his first 2 times at bat in the '72 World Series. It's never been done before. And went on to win the most valuable player of that series and become a national name.
He's considered an outstanding fastball hitter.
That's right. And he fouls it back. Vin, in the playoffs, Tony will tell you, he didn't see a fastball. He just curve to him.
That's one reason why I'm wondering about Messersmith's curve, which is going to tell us just how he's going to do today.
We can tell right here against Tennis. He's being played deep and toward left. There's his breaking pitch. A good one right off the end of the table. Struck him out with it. First strikeout for Messersmith.
That's the best pitch he's made today. Not just he struck the man out, but it was the first good curveball, the kind that most people in the National League felt. Going into the All-Star game, Messersmith had the best stuff in the league. Then he hurt himself, and he has not been quite the same since.
While Sutton came the other way and finished.
Amazing.
The way Messersmith was starting. Ray Fosse, 196 average, hurt most of the year. Sends a slow bounder, cut off by Say for 1. Lopes is taken out at second by Joe Rudy. So winds up a force out from Say to Lopes, 2 down. Fosse's at first. And Dick Green up.
The scouting report about Davy Lopes that the A's had was that he takes the double play pivot toward the third base side. And you'll see this as the base runner slides in trying to upset him. Those are the little things that scouts look for that might force a wild throw.
I might add also, Davy Lopes is a converted outfielder.
2 down. The first pitch to Dick Green's a strike. Green again hampered by injuries this year. He had back surgery 3 years ago. He figured in one of the grand strategies of baseball year before last, when the A's would use 4 second basemen in the game, and none of them would ever get the bat. They'd pinch hit for each one. Ken Holtzman on deck. There's a strange position for him. There goes the runner, and the ball boxed around and down to second. It's a foul ball. Fosse was going.
I would imagine Dick Green would get almost invariably a breaking ball.
Green, when he does tag the ball, can hit it with power to right center. Likes the ball out over the plate. Garvey laying off the bag against Fosse, as you see. 2 down, 1-0 Oakland. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts for Messersmith. Jackson had a leadoff homer. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. End of an inning and a half, 1-0 Oakland. Ferguson and Say for the Dodgers. Last of the second, Holtzman's in with a strike. We're talking about Steve Garvey in Michigan State. Ironically, in the opening game of this series, his old alma mater, Michigan State's playing their hated rival, Michigan, this afternoon. There's a shot into right field, base hit. Fielded on a hop by Jackson. Well, Garvey continues where he left off in the Pirate series. Joe Ferguson hit .252 at 16 homers, 57 RBIs. Got off to a bad start, didn't he, Vin?
Yes, he's not an aggressive player. He's a big, gentle kind of a guy, and the Dodgers try to light a fire under him, and he takes too many pitches, is what the experts say.
Inside and low. Holtzman keeping the ball down so far. Ferguson lives in Anaheim, born in San Francisco. That's low and away, 2-0. Now Fosse decides you better talk to him. One of the keys to watch for today will be Jackson's leg in right field. How much ground can he cover? Playing with a pulled hamstring muscle. How much? He says he's not going to go all out on the bases of the outfield. He doesn't want to rip that muscle again.
And I know the Dodger base runners will run on the Oakland outfield.
That's ball 3. Alvin Dark. The center of the eye of the hurricane all year. Ferguson walks. The Dodgers have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Ron Say is coming up. The Penguin, as they call him here, with his Penguin-like run, hit .262, 18 homers, 97 RBIs. You talked about it, Vin. We have on national television. Does he mind being kidded about running like a penguin?
No, not really. And despite the fact that he waddles and runs stiff-legged and rather funny, he has average running speed by the clock.
He has a better-than-average bat. Against San Diego, he knocked in 8 runs in a night game, and against the Cubs, he knocked in 6 runs in an afternoon game. And Holtzman is high and away. It's 5 balls in a row delivered by Holtzman. Alan Ross has 7 RBIs against the Cubs. Anyway, it was a good afternoon. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. A slow roller to short. They go for 1. They turn it over. Out at first base. Very close. They get the important double play, and Junior Gilliam's out there arguing. The first base coach, Say, is unhappy. Let's take a look at it, Tony.
We're seeing one of the underrated double play combinations in baseball. Campy charged the ball well. And look at Dick Green with the on-charging runner. A very close play at first base, and an argument from Jim Gilliam. Here's Campy. He got that ball on the edge of the infield grass, and one of the most agile second basemen around. And was he off the bag?
I would say that he cheated and wasn't even on the bag for the first out.
Over the years, the phantom double play. Dick Green, the reason he made that play is that one of the strongest throwing arms of any second baseman. He can put something on the ball as he's pivoting. 2 down for the Dodgers. Garvey's at third. Bill Russell up. 269 hitter. The strike to him. And Bando's in tight at third. Tennis is in tight at first. Russell has speed. Just away. 1-1. Holtzman, so far, Tony, does not look as quick as he did last Sunday in Oakland.
He relies more on control than anything else. We have seen him pitch ball games where 9 of the 10 pitches will be fastballs. He says he does not throw a change of pace. He calls it letting up on his fastball, but he has exceptional control ordinarily.
2 balls and a strike to Bill Russell, who flew home between the playoffs and the World Series to attend the funeral of his father-in-law in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
He has had a bad right elbow, has Russell, all year.
There's a bounding ball to Campanera. Very strong arm. Throws right on the money. And the Dodgers had no runs to hit. They left 1 at the end of 2. 1-0 Oakland. Ken Holtzman in a strange role as a batter. With the designated hitting role, there's Cary Grant. He's an avid baseball fan. One ball, 1 strike to Holtzman. Holtzman's lifetime Major League batting average, 158 before the designated hitting rule in the American League. 2-1 to him. He'll be followed at the top of the order by Campaneris and then Bill North. The A's have 1 run, 2 hits. The Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits. Off the mask of the catcher, Steve Yeager. Two count to Ken Holtzman. He's hit a couple of home runs in his Major League career. One against Negro and Jim McLaughlin. 3-2. This is what gets a manager a little upset. Going a full count to a pitcher, and even more so if he walks him. Holtzman fouls it back. Right off the top of our NBC telecasting booth. 3-2. Nobody on, nobody out. 3rd inning. And they're going to appeal, but it's ball 4. Messersmith walks the pitcher to lead off the 3rd. On a check swing.
First base umpire Bill Kunkel of the American League. That's where the appeal went with the right-handed hitter Holtzman. Holtzman took a very close pitch. You can see from that center field camera how close it was. It looked low.
Oh.
Tom Gorman, this is his 5th World Series behind the plate, so he's no rookie there.
Campaneris flied to deep center his first time. Little fella, but he'll sting one now and then. Right now they're playing for the bunt. Dumped out in front of the plate. Messersmith goes to first baseman Garvey. Sacrifice for Campaneris. Holtzman is at second. 1 out. Bill North coming up. He bounced to third base his first time. The A's bring the infield in at short and second against the speedy North. Say will be in on the grass when the pitch is released at third. Garvey halfway at first, the outfield over toward left. 1-0 Oakland, third inning. There goes his bat. 0-1 to Bill North. Tomorrow's pitcher is Don Sutton. A 19-game winner will be going for the Dodgers. And Vida Blue, who clinched it for the Oakland A's of Baltimore, will be going for Oakland. Tuesday in Oakland will be Al Downing against the ace of the Oakland staff, Jim Catfish Hunter. Runner on second, one out. 1 ball, 1 strike to North. Sal Bando's on deck. Threw that fastball right by him. I think that was his fastest pitch of the ball game, Ben.
I'm still surprised, unless he's trying to throw the book out the window. We have not seen him throw his fabled change hardly at all. He got North to hit it off the end of the bat to Say in the first inning, and that's about the only time we've seen it.
Let's see what he does here. There it is. There it is. That's a great change.
Oh, it's marvelous.
He doesn't tip it. It comes in just a little bit off.
As the ball players say, it's a fastball that's about 1.5 feet short.
You can see he has a little movement on the ball also. He turns it over a shade and it tails away from the left-handed hitter.
The third strikeout for Andy Messersmith. He's walked one. The lone run of the game, a leadoff homer in the second to the opposite field by Jackson. Holtzman in second, 2 down. Fouled away by Sal Bando. These two teams are practically strangers. They've only played each other once. That was an exhibition game last year. They train in different locales. The Dodgers at Vero Beach. The A's in Arizona. That pitch, there's a cross-up.
Yep.
And going out is Yeager. What happened?
Well, one of the things, when Andy is given his sign, he is also given his location.
And he may have gotten fooled on the switch with that man on second base, and I think he lost a strike because Yeager had popped up for the fastball, shielding Gorman out.
1-1 count to Bando, who flied to left his first time. That's strike 2 to him.
Most catchers, when they give the sign, if it's not in the sign, will be either the thumb or the pinky as to the location, inside or out.
2-2 count.
So you could actually take a close-up of Yeager, and you would see the location where he wants the ball. I'm not going to tell you what the sign is, but let's watch. All right, see the pinky? Away.
Struck him out. 2 strikeouts that inning. No runs, no hits. They left 1. At the end of 2.5, 1-0 Oakland. Send up Steve Yeager to lead off the last of the third. He hit .266 this season. A little more power than the year before. 12 homers, 41 RBIs. It'll be Yeager, Messersmith, and then Dave Lopes at the top of the order against Ken Holtzman. Bounding ball up the middle. It's a base hit by Yeager. He's on. And for the second inning in a row, the Dodgers have had their leadoff man on.
Number 47.
Messersmith.
Andy Messersmith.
Dodgers now have out-hit the A's 3-2. Messersmith just completed the best batting average season of his career, hitting .240, which is very good for a pitcher, anything over 200. All-around athlete.
They'll be looking for the bunt, but Benny, he's a pretty good hitter.
Yes, he is.
Sometimes do they switch?
Oh, yes, absolutely. But not so much with Yeager, the runner. Had it been somebody else, they might play hit and run with him.
A strike to Messersmith. Reggie Jackson's home run is the difference right now. 1-0 Oakland, last of the third.
They're talking over another thing that happened in the playoffs against Pittsburgh when the first baseman left too soon. The runner took off and beat it in a bunt situation. Holtzman and Tennis want to get a signal straight, but that Tennis does not leave the first base back too soon, giving Yeager a lot of room.
There is like 100 to 1 against Yeager trying to steal.
He stole only twice. What happened? I don't know.
Both of those were busted hit-and-run plays.
One strike to Messersmith. Outside, and Gene Tennis was about 15 feet off the plate as the ball came into the catcher. Back he goes. Bando is crawling in from third. Ken Holtzman, for the third year in a row, is opening the World Series for the A's. And he's away from him. 2 balls and a strike. The first pitcher to do this since Whitey Ford. Whitey started 4 openers in a row with the Yankees back in 61, 62, 63, and 64. The playoffs throw a pitching staff out of killer now. But sometimes your top pitcher, like Hunter, will be pitching in the third game, depending where they placed him and what he had to do in the playoffs, and did the playoffs go to 4 or 5 games.
He's given Andy a tough time. He's given him hard breaking balls to bunt, and if you get him at all, you're going to pop him back, which is just what he's done. Now, with 2 strikes on him, that's the big gamble for Alston. Will he have him bunt?
Yeager at first, nobody out. Last of the third, 1-0 Oakland on the NBC scoreboard. He's swinging away, and he hits a fly ball into center. Bill North watches it drop in front of him. North did not get a good jump on that ball.
No. As far as the National League is concerned, North is not a particularly good outfielder, but because of his great speed, he makes up for it. But again, looking into this birthday cake stands, he got no jump on the ball at all.
And he knows it. And that ball leaves the bat against the haze, the packed stand, the glare of the sun over the edge of the stadium. Very difficult to quickly pick up the ball off the bat. And it doesn't take a fraction of a second to lose those 2 or 3 steps. Dave Lopes up, the Dodgers runners on first and second. Olson trying to keep the ball up high on a bunt situation. Dodgers had runners on first and second in the second inning, but Say hit into a double play.
Kurt, the A's are not the same kind of club in the infield as when Dick Williams managed the last couple of World Championship seasons. They do not operate the same way as far as plays. You can see Bando giving signals to his face. Last year, they had picked off plays at every base imaginable. Trick plays with a shortstop covering third. Pick-off attempts, but Dark has thrown most of them out the window.
There they go. They try to pick off at second.
That's the same play the Dodgers have. I guess there's no secrets.
Campaneris dashing over, faking to go to third with Bando coming on. And the second baseman covering, trying to decoy the runner off second when he sees the shortstop go. 1 ball, no strikes. Lopes was caught looking his first time up. High and away, 2-0. Holtzman now starting to dig himself into a jam.
The Dodgers feel that Davy Lopes does not take advantage of his speed, and he is not that good a bunter yet. I think that next year, if you're writing a scouting report on Lopes, you're going to say that he'll bunt, pushing the ball wide of first. Because the Dodgers feel if he can just get the ball down wide of first, he has a chance to beat the pitcher over to the bag.
2 balls, no strikes to Dave Lopes. He swings and lofts the high fly in a shallow left. Campaneris weighs Rudy off. Look out, look out. Rudy grabs it in foul ground. They still collided, even though Campaneris had waved him away. Usually the oncoming man has the better shot, the easier play.
This is one of the problems of World Series play. You can see Campy waving off and also yelling, but you cannot hear each other. And with that sun as glaring as it is, they cannot afford to take their eye off that ball for 1 split second.
For the A's, it's fortunate how solidly Rudy is built.
Another thing, too, it is so very tough to hear with a big crowd. If anyone else was trying to direct traffic, I'm sure they couldn't have heard it.
Lopes swinging away at a 2-0 pitch. Fouls to left, 1 out. Yeager's at second. Messersmith at first. Oakland ahead, 1-0, last of the third. And Bill Buckner up. He looped a single to left field his first time. Campaneris bluffing Yeager back. Elvin Dark played in 3 World Series himself. That's a good pitch by Holtzman at the knees. Holtzman has not been a strikeout pitcher in the last 3 years. He averaged just 4 strikeouts every 9 innings this year. There's a high fly ball, deep left. Rudy's back. He'll be under it. 2 down. Runners go halfway and return. So we have 3 putouts for Joe Rudy so far. Now it's Jim Wynn up. Wynn flying to left his first time.
He set a Dodger record for home runs since they are playing at Dodger Stadium with 32 this year. Frank Howard at 31. And the left center field bleachers have been officially proclaimed Cannon Country. His nickname in Houston was the Toy Cannon, and the left center field bleachers are called Cannon Country. That's some other country over there.
2 down, runners on first and second. A breaking pitch is over for a strike to Wynn. Wynn will have his elbow operated on after the series. He has a loose chip. He's been playing with pain in that right elbow of his all year. A ball. He made a quote in the paper, Ben, and Tony, I don't know how true it was. He said he was so happy to be with the Dodgers that he gives Spec Richardson, the general manager of the Houston club, his World Series share. I saw Spec last night. I said, I'll take it. Glad to have it. 1-1. Dodgers made 2 great trades in the offseason. This is one of them. Ball. They went after a right-handed power hitter and a relief pitcher. They got Wynn and Mike Marshall. And both were instrumental in the Dodgers winning the pennant. 2 balls and a strike to Jim Wynn. There's a bounding ball to Bando. Steps on third for the force out. And again, Holtzman wriggles out of a jam. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. At the end of 3, 1-0 Oakland. The swing of the bat by this man is the difference in the game. He led off the second inning with a home run to the opposite field. Let's take a look at it. This raw power by Reggie Jackson. Letter high pitch, and look at that one. Over the 385 mark up in the left field bleachers, Jackson's home run. 1-0 Oakland. It's Jackson, Rudy, and Tennis in the 4th. Jackson was off to a flying start this season. Cooled off over the last half, but still wound up with impressive credentials. 29 homers, 93 runs batted in. Ball 1. I've seen him hit 2 of the longest home runs I've ever seen, Tony and myself. One off the top of the scoreboard at Bloomington, Minnesota. They measured it over 500 feet. And his home run in the All-Star game at Detroit that struck a light standard on top of the roof. Still going, was rising as it left the park. 2-0. When he hits them, he usually just stands and looks and drops the bat.
You know, in Messersmith's behalf, I don't think Jackson hit a bad pitch at all. He just happens to be a good hitter.
3-0.
He's basically a low ball hitter, and it looked like it was in and up a little bit, and he just happened to muscle it out.
Benny, that's the kind of pitch that they talk about fighting it off. Pitch inside on the fist, but he is so strong he fought it off in the left field bleachers.
Yeah, most people think, well, the pitcher made a mistake, guy hit a home run, but not in this caliber of play.
Now, let's give that hitter some credit, too.
Right.
Jackson says he's going to have to change his playing style and his exercise style. A strike to him. He is a heavily muscled man, powerful. He rips those heavy muscles, and he's going to do a lot of stretching this winter. Strike to him. Says he may have to quit going all out on the bases or in the outfield with quick bursts of speed to keep from ripping muscles. As he gets older, he'll probably have more and more trouble.
Usually they have to give up something against a stolen base.
Just missing with the changeup, Messersmith, and Jackson walks to lead off the 4th. Messersmith has walked 2 and struck out 4. And Joe Rudy's up. He singled up the middle his first time. We don't look for Jackson to run. We asked him if he'd be running today, and he said no. Not unless I have to.
Rudy's a good hit and run man, too.
Go to right field well. He has Outstanding bat control. Rudy played straight away. Throw to first. Look out. He's just back. They nearly had him picked off on a snap throw by Yeager, who unloaded that ball in a hurry.
I think around the National League, they'll tell you that Yeager throws with Johnny Bench.
The ball arrived just as quickly, and this quick snap tag by Garvey just misses the left foot. He is very agile behind the plate. Denny, he's done this all year long for you.
Yeah, he's a marvelous arm.
You don't wander off any base on him. 1 ball, no strikes. That's the hook at the knees that caught the outside corner. 1-1 to Rudy. Rudy looking down to his third base coach, Bobby Winkles.
And looking on that play at first, it looked like Garvey made a blind tag. He tagged where he thought Reggie would go instead of going after Reggie.
Actually, Reggie was nimble with that last step back to the bag.
Otherwise, he's out.
1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back to first base. Sun-drenched stands here today in Dodger Stadium. They set the all-time record in the playoffs for attendance.
55,953.
Reggie Jackson at first, nobody out. We're in the 4th inning. NBC sending you its 28th World Series in succession. This one's being seen around the world via satellite. We understand some folks around the country have been calling in about that plexiglass you see behind the plate, and that's to protect the camera. And the fans also sitting there, or a foul ball could go through. The 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts for Messersmith.
It's been a long time since we've seen Andy strike out as many hitters as we had.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. This is Kurt Gowdy, Vin Scully, and Tony Kubek with you from Dodger Stadium. We're in the 4th inning. Oakland ahead 1-0. They've been out hit by the Dodgers 4-2. There's a changeup. 0-1. Messersmith using that change more now in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, second time around.
Ray Fosse scheduled up next. Inside again. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dodgers, the last 2 innings have had runners on first and second, nobody out. But haven't been able to move. That's hit the third. Say up. Down to second for 1. Lopes turns. Safe at first base. Dennis hustled down that line and just beat the throw.
Here's Say once again. He gets rid of the ball quickly. Lopes comes across the bag, and he might have done a little bit of cheating, as we saw Dick Green do earlier. He just missed at first base.
I've seen third basemen with more velocity on their throws. I have never seen a guy day in and day out throw with the accuracy of Ron Say. It's amazing.
And that's important because in that infield, we've seen a lot of third basemen go to the outfield with scatter arms. Strong arms, but just don't have the accuracy to first or to start the double play around the horn. 2 down. Tennis at first. The ball to Ray Fosse. Fosse had a 3-run homer in the playoffs against the Orioles. He's had bad luck. He was hurt this year, breaking up Jackson and North in a fight. Pete Rose barreled into him in the All-Star game in '71. His shoulder was bad for a year and a half. 2 balls, no strikes.
Kurt, that was one of the pluses that came out of the American League Championship Series. Ray Fosse's throwing. He threw better than he had most of the year.
They figure to give him all breaking stuff. Now that he's behind 2-0, let's see if they gamble with a fastball.
Go to first, driving Tennis back. Tennis had a delayed steal in the playoffs. He only stole 2 bases the regular season. That's the strike. After you leave Camp and Harrison North at the top of the order, of course, Jackson can run. But throughout the order, the Dodgers would appear to have more team speed.
Indy has a quick move to first. Mike Marshall has one, too.
2-1 pitch. Runner going. There's the drive down the left field line, just foul. And with a runner going, Tennis had a chance to score. Had that been a fair ball?
That's twice Alvin Dark has started him in the lower part of his order. He started Fosse the first time up.
He's a first World Series umpire, is Andy Olson, and he had the shot for it.
Now we have a count of 2-2 to Ray Fosse. Gene Tennis at first, 2 down. Oakland 1. Los Angeles nothing in the top of the 4th inning. Fosse played as a pull hitter to left field. Mean pitch. One of the best for Memphis Smith in the game. Again, 2 strikeouts. No runs. Mayor and Mrs. Bradley watching the opening game of the World Series. She missed only 6 Dodger games all year. She's one of the more rabid Dodger fans. This is Steve Garvey leading off. The mayor and the Oakland mayor had a bet on the series. Garvey fouls the bat. He's swinging a hot bat. He lined a shot to right field to lead off the second.
Probably excuse me, Kurt, I was going to say he's the only Dodger yet who is trying to go the other way with Holtzman. That's one reason why they haven't had any luck with him in scoring.
Holtzman's curveball dropped off on him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Remember, Holtzman's fastball tails away from that right-hander. When you try and pull him, it's rugged.
Kenny also has an excellent curveball, but he does not use it much. He does not have confidence in it.
He came over to the A's after 2 17-game winning seasons with the Cubs, and he'd fired 2 no-hitters in the National League before he moved to the American League. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Garvey beats the curve foul. Holtzman coming in here with a shutout behind him against the Orioles last Sunday. So his last 12 innings have been goose eggs. A 1-2 pitch. Accidental foul. That was a good trade for the Cubs and the A's. The A's wanted a left-handed pitcher. Casey Stengel. Little Stengelese in the stands today.
84, the 30th of July.
Yogi Berra. Casey's seen enough World Series. Ground ball to short. Campanera scoops and fires, and there's 1 down. In that Holtzman deal, the Cubs got Rick Mundy to play the outfield. Joe Ferguson walked his first time.
Joe is another fella, Kurt, the Dodgers feel would hit more if he would go to right field once in a while. But he likes to pull, and Holtzman will take advantage of that kind.
1 out. Let's see how he works him now. Out at the knees, a little bit inside. He's fighting those corners, Ben.
And how?
0-1. 1-0 Oakland. Curve is over. Oh, beautiful. 0-2.
We were saying earlier, he takes those pitches too much.
Ron Say on deck. The outfield deep for Ferguson. They respect his power, and he strikes out in a curveball. 3 pitches and 2 down. Holtzman has struck out 2. Holtzman looks better this inning, I believe, than any of the previous 3 innings.
I guess there have been 2 big plays so far. Say hitting into the double play, and Alston gambling with 2 on and the 2-0 count to Lopes and having him swing away. I guess that's the key to the game up to here.
Ron Say. He's played as a pull hitter to left. Ben Scully can tell you for years the Dodgers have searched for a third baseman. What do they have, 45 or 47 different players in that position?
Twice as many as Coxey's Army, I know that.
There's a ground ball in the left field for a base hit. Say is on, Rudy's up with the ball, but now they have their man. He's young and he's well set for the future. Ron Say, who has just singled.
Here's that run. If you're a right-handed batter, they consider average speed 4.3 seconds to first base. Average speed left-hander, 4.1 seconds to first base. And Say is average for a right-handed hitter.
Bill Russell grounded to short his first time. Say's at first, 2 down. The Dodgers now have 5 hits. The A's 2 hits. Move to first. Nearly a Bad throw by Holtzman. If Bill Russell plays shortstop the way he did here in Dodger Stadium against the Pirates, Campaneris plays the way he did in last year's World Series, we should see something. Again, that breaking pitch by Holtzman.
You might have seen Russell's right hand come off the bat on that swing. Most of his errors this year have come from a sore elbow, and it's also hindered his swinging. He can't quite extend the arms.
A one-strike pitch. Fosse going out after, 1-1. Ron Say at first, 2 down. Reggie Jackson's home run in the second. Oakland 1, Los Angeles nothing. That ball tailed away. Almost looked like he turned that one over deliberately.
I think when he pitched with the Cubs, I think the people in Chicago dreamt they had another Sandy Koufax, and it probably hurt him because he threw beyond himself. But now he's a pitcher.
The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Campaneris down high. Here comes Say to third. The throw wild. Bando has to stab it off the bag. And the Dodgers have runners on first and third, 2 down. Ball got by Bando.
Had a chance to see this infield you told us about earlier. As the ball was deflected, it picked up a little English and then took a little erratic hop off the left wrist of Bert Campaneris. And Say hustled to get the third.
And as we point out, it takes at least average speed or better to go as far as Ron did.
First trip to the mound by Alvin Dark. Holtzman's been in trouble the last 3 innings. The Dodgers had 2 men on, nobody out in the second. 2 men on, nobody out in the third. After 2 out, nobody on in this inning. Now they suddenly have runners on first and third. Alvin Dark, born in Comanche, Oklahoma. He attended Louisiana State and Southwest Louisiana Institute. Quite a football player in his day. Led the nation in punting his sophomore year at LSU. Played in the majors for 13 years. A very smart ball player. Managed the Giants in the World Series. Lifetime 289 hitter. Runners on first and third, 2 down. 1-0 Oakland, last of the 4th inning, and Steve Yeager's the batter. Yeager singled to center his first trip.
He did not get a base hit in the 4-game playoff with Pittsburgh.
Curve hangs high and away from him. The outfield deep and toward left. Ron Say's at third. Bill Russell's at first. They're holding there. There's a ground ball to Campaneris. A play to second. Force out. Side retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. At the end of 4. The A's won, the Dodgers nothing. Charlie Finley with his Bear Bryant hat and the green of the Oakland A's, yelling a little encouragement out. I said at the opening of the show he was being sued for $2.5 million. I think I said Mike Lewis by mistake. It's Mike Andrews, who became the sort of the fan of the nation when he was dropped in the World Series last year. Bowie Kuhn, the commissioner of baseball, and his wife. Pitches high and away, 1-1. The man in the dark suit is Herb Schlosser, president of NBC. There's a ball hit sharply. Ron Say, and Dick Green is out, third to first. $2.5 million. Well, I'd be a little nervous before the series. Wonder why the timing of the opening day of the World Series. It's a year. Not bad timing, I guess. Ken Holtzman walked his first time. 1-0 Oakland, a strike to Holtzman. Messersmith and Holtzman still dueling, the starting pitchers. 6 strikeouts for Andy, a high pitch. 1-1. He's walked 2. He's allowed only 2 hits, and he's behind. The 1-1 pitch. Took something off. 1-2. Bert Campaneris is on deck at the top of the A's batting order. Playing Holtzman to the opposite field. He tried to tease him in the corner. Missed outside. 2-2. what the ball players call a high sky today, not a cloud in the sky. That's a base hit by Holtzman. Down the left field line, he has a chance for two. Holtzman, who didn't come to bat once this year, is into second base with a double.
It might be the time to tell you about an incident at Dodger Stadium this year. The Dodgers and the Giants. The Giants had a young pitcher, John Montefusco, who had just come up from the minor leagues. He had pitched for 2 minor league teams that used a designated hitter, so Montefusco had not swung the bat all year. And in his first at-bat in the big leagues, he hit a home run against the Dodgers here.
Actually, Ben, before they went to the designated hitter hitting rule in the American League, the A's had one of the better hitting stats. Catfish Hunter is an excellent hitting pitcher. Batted Blues pretty fair. Here's the swing by Holtzman.
Say, playing way off the bag at third, you don't expect a pitcher to pull the ball, especially when he hasn't swung the bat very often this year.
Well, he's a World Series hitter, Tony. He had 2 out of 3 last year in the series. He has won the last 2 World Series in the opening game, but he lasted only 5 innings in each series, but he was a winning pitcher. Pitcher of record. He's at second when he's back to you. 1 out. Campaneris high and away from him. Campaneris is flied out and sacrificed. Bill North on deck. Say in tied at third. The A's have 1 run, 3 hits. The Dodgers no runs, 6 hits. That's a strike at the knees. The Dodgers have left 5. The A's have left 3. Holtzman is second, 1 out. He's been on twice at the bottom of the order. Gets away. There goes Holtzman to third. The outside pitch boxed around by Yeager, and now the A's have a runner on third, 1 out.
This will make it doubly tough on the Dodger infield. They're going to have to play up. And, of course, Campaneris is the kind of a man who does squeeze and has squeezed in the past.
That was scored a wild pitch against Messerschmidt. In the last A's game against the Orioles, they're out hit 5-1, but beat the Orioles 2-1 in the clinching game for the American League. The A's have been out hit today. He'll work out of the stretch. The infield in. 2 balls and a strike to Campaneris. Trying to go to right with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hey, Bobby Winkles, we heard the yell, Campy, up here. Call him down.
He may be trying to make him aware of some of the throwing arms of the outfield.
Now run him down, Ben, from left to right. Run those arms down.
Below average in left, way below average in center, average to a little bit better in right.
Runner on third, 1 out. Here he comes. Suicide squeeze. They get him in. A perfectly executed suicide squeeze. Holtzman running on the pitch, and it was 2 strikes to the batter. Campaneris did it.
The Dodgers are being beaten by the book because they know he's a squeezed man. We mentioned that he is, and there it is, and there's not very much you can do when it's perfectly executed.
A lot is emphasis put on that batter getting the ball down, and that's important, but it's also important that the base runner does not leave too soon. If he leaves too soon, they'll throw the ball right at the hitter or pitch out. Got to wait till he releases the ball.
Campaneris, an RBI. The A's lead 2-0. In the top of the 5th inning, Bill North has bounced out and struck out. Messerschmidt's giving him trouble with changeups. That pitch is low. 2 balls and no strikes to North. And the suicide squeeze looks like it shook Messerschmidt up a bit. 2-0 delivery. A strike at the knees, 2-1 to North. Sal Bando's on deck. North played to the opposite field by center fielder Jim Wynn. So far, the A's have cashed in on their chances. The Dodgers have not. And that's the story. A's have scored in 2 extreme ways, a home run and a squeeze. 2-2 to North.
It is particularly difficult to give up a run on a 1-out extra base hit by a pitcher who hasn't hit all year and then set it up on a wild pitch.
Correct. 2-2 delivery. just inside with a fastball. 3-2 to Bill North. Dodger fans a little uneasy now. You hear some rumbling through the stands. At 3-2 delivery. It's outside, and one of the best base runners in the game is on, Bill North. 54 stolen bases. He led the American League. There are 2 down. Sal Bando is flying to left and struck out. So keep your eyes at Bill North at first with 2 down, and the A's ahead 2-0 in the top of the 5th.
Normally, the hitter who hits back of a base-running threat gets a lot of fastballs because the pitcher wants to get that ball to the catcher. But Bando likes fastballs, and they want to give him breaking balls. So it's going to be a lot of pressure here on Yeager. Is he going to call for the curve with a guy like North, or will he dare Bando's bat and call for fastballs?
2 down, Bill North at first. Messersmith, a quick move again. North had 54 stolen bases. Campaneris 39. He's back. 34 for Campaneris.
We mentioned earlier what average speed is going from home to first. North, to illustrate, has been timed at 3.9. So he's really quick.
Andy with a good quick pickoff move, and I can see Alvin Dark in the corner of that dugout saying, Herb Washington, watch the move.
There he goes. The throw, beauty. He's got him. Perfect throw by Steve Yeager. And Bill North is out. Second baseman took the bag. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left.
There it is again, a good quick release by Messersmith, and watch the agility of Steve Yeager. You talk about a strong arm, but it's all in that footwork and positioning and balance, and he's got it all.
Great throw by Yeager at the end of 4.5 is Oakland 2, Los Angeles 0. Way through, Tony Kubek here in the gleaming yellow jacket. Vin Scully, the voice of the Dodgers, ready to take over with a play-by-play. And we've got some ball game going, Vin, in Game 1 of the 74 series.
I would say it's the best we've seen Messersmith look in over a month. So the A's are beating a very good pitcher right now.
All right, grab her and go.
Okay. The Dodgers, who have been sputtering, getting men on but leaving them there, will start with Messersmith. Pretty good hitting pitcher. He had 24 hits during the year. We're waiting for sunglasses to be put on by Dick Green, so timeout. It'll be Messersmith followed by Davy Lopes and then Bill Buckner. As soon as Green gets the shades on. I'm surprised, Tony, he waited this long to put them on.
Sun hasn't changed that much its positioning in the sky.
Sometimes infielders do not like to wear sunglasses because when they're up, they see the reflection of the ball in the glasses. Well, here's Andy. It's 2-0 Oakland. Bottom of the 5th, a bunt fouled away. That's Darrell Knowles. Checkmate. Make that rolling fingers down there. Knowles was up a minute ago. Glenn Abbott was also up earlier. But the big man is up now.
Knowles was up, and they might have just had him tuning up. That he hasn't pitched much lately.
0-1 to Andy. That's over. Big, slow curve. Andy is capable of hitting a home run. Big jug. 1-2 to Messersmith.
You know, if Vinny's seeing that relief pitcher warming up, we haven't had a complete game in the World Series the last 2 years.
Off speed, and he missed. He hadn't given Andy a fastball yet. 2-2. 2 runs, 3 hits for Oakland. No runs, a half a dozen hits for the Dodgers. Fouled away. The Dodgers so far have left 5 men on. They've had at least 1 man on in every inning. I guess we should point out that in their first 2 wins against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, the Dodgers won while leaving 25 men on base. Fastball, and it seemed to sink. Down he goes. That'll be strikeout number 3 for Kenny Holtzman. He averages 4 a game. And it'll bring up Davy Lopes, who will consume a little time. On a hot day, he wants Messersmith to get back to the dugout.
Vin, has the Dodger ball club during the course of the year been the kind of team that will adjust to a pitcher? I noticed that Holtzman is keeping everything away. They continue, the right-hand hitters, to try and pull the ball.
No, I would say they're human. If they have it in their mind to pull, they're going to try and pull and go right down the drain pulling. Ball one. The one hitter, as we mentioned earlier, who will adjust immediately is Steve Garvey. In there, 1-1. They play Bando up, but as we mentioned, Lopes rarely bunts, and Holtzman is considered a good fielding pitcher. Big chopper to short, and Cavanera's boots it, picks it up, no play. He decides to charge the ball, Tony, and actually he had the easier play rather than get caught on the short hop.
I think he heard your report before the ball game, Ben, where you said it's like a rock pile out there. He wanted to get it before it took that extra hop, and he might have overcharged the ball.
Tony, let me correct you. I worked here all year. I did not say it was a rock pile. I said it is the hardest infield to play, period.
Ron Sayers said that many times, too. You know, he almost looked like he kicked the ball out of his glove, the left foot.
Yeah, he was worrying. All right, here's Buckner with Lopes at first, one out. Can't be drawing an error. There's a decision to be made here under these circumstances about whether to have Lopes go or not. When you have a left-hand hitter like Buckner up, Walter Alston primarily likes to keep the first baseman anchored on the bag so the left-hand batter can pull to the hole. However, Buckner has not been getting pitches to pull. He's gone the other way twice. Fastball, pull foul. Earlier, he dropped a fly ball single to left. Last time up, he flied to left because he's had to go with the breaking ball.
Benny, Lopes, in the future, how many bases do you think he can steal someday? He's coming on, isn't he, on the base lines?
He said this year, it depends on what he hits, how much he gets on. But this year, he has stolen 60 counting playoffs, 59 in the regular season. He went 3 for 3 in the playoffs. So that would give him 62. 0-1 to Buckner. And he goes, hit and run, a big bouncer into right field. Lopes being waved to third. Jackson bobbles the ball, but Buckner's going to hold. Coming to the plate is Lopes to score.
And Ben, you were right in another regard earlier in the ball game when you said the Dodger runners will go on the arms of the Oakland A's outfielders. Jackson has an exceptionally strong arm, but they know it is erratic.
I'll tell you the other thing on Reggie Jackson. Granted, he has a strong arm velocity-wise. It is not that accurate, but, and he did it today, they said on balls hit in front of him, he has a tendency to bobble the ball. And sure enough, as he charged the base hit, he bobbled it, and Lopes was able to score. The throw is up the line. It was hurried and off the glove of catcher Fossey.
Looked like he was coming all the way anyway.
One thing we should say, and that is Jackson made a good throw. It was low. It could have been cut off, and that kept the tying run from getting to second base. So you have to give Jackson that, even though he's committed an error. So a hit-and-run single, 2 errors in the inning. It is 2-1 Oakland, and here's Jimmy Wynn. Fly to left, hit into a force play. Buckner was going to try to steal with Garvey up in the first inning, and he committed himself too soon and was picked off. Ball one, and Buckner, intimidated, was going back to the bag as Holtzman was coming to the plate.
We saw the same thing happen a couple of pitches ago when Lopes was on first base.
Turned it over away, ball 2. Oakland 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. The Dodgers 1 run, 7 hits. They've had at least 1 hit in every inning. Squirted off the end of the bat foul. There's a classic case, Tony, and you asked me before, will they finally go the other way? That was a turnover pitch. Wynn had it in mind. He was going to pull him no matter what, and he hit it off the end of the bat foul.
And it's a tribute to this entire Oakland A's staff, I think, Vinny, that they keep the ball away from the power hitters, even though they are behind in the count.
I would say this, too. Jimmy Wynn will go to right field about twice a year. And once he helped beat Pittsburgh with a double in the playoff, but he never goes to right. Ball 3. Tommy Lasorda doing some cheerleading. He managed a lot of these kids all through the minor leagues. In fact, most of the youngsters here are the class of '68, the draft. Buckner at first. Very aggressive base runner. 1 out, a run over, 2-1 Oakland, bottom of the 5th. Here's the difference, naturally, hit and run and run and hit. Run and hit, you don't have to swing at ball 4 to protect the runner. So on a 3-1 count, this is the run and hit spot, and we'll see if Buckner goes. Chances are he will. Nope, wasn't going. Ball 4.
Raleigh Fingers ready in the bullpen. Alvin Dark looking out. And this may be all for Holtzman. We should have a great matchup in this series with Mike Marshall coming out of the bullpen for the Dodgers and this man for the A's. Fingers are two of the very best in the game.
And out on the mound, rolling Fingers. Kenny Holtzman went 4 1/3 innings. He allowed at least 1 run, 7 hits, walked 2 and struck out 3. And for Holtzman, followed somewhat of a pattern. He started the first game in the 72 and 73 series, and he went 5 innings in each game. And so he starts this year, and he comes out in the 5th inning. Although it must be pointed out, Campaneris, who was spooked by the infield, started his troubles with the error, and then Jackson bobbling the base hit, and that just about finished him off when he walked Jimmy Wynn. Tony, you've looked at rolling Fingers, so it occurred more times than I have. Isn't this a little early for him?
It is. He is basically a power pitcher, fastball slider, and you've got to wonder if John Odom getting hurt in a fight yesterday, spraining his ankle with Fingers, who has 5 stitches in the head, has not changed Alvin Dark's pitching plans. I would think the long relief man from the right side would have been John Odom.
He's mean against right-handers, comes in with that sidearm stuff. A powerhouse pitcher.
Garvey has one thing going for him. If he is jammed, he's still strong enough to muscle the ball out of the infield. Good breaking ball, 0-1. Boy, it's nice to come in out of the bullpen, throw that breaking ball, and get it over right away. That's Bill Buckner at second, representing the tying run. Jimmy Wynn at first. Bottom of the 5th inning, a run over, and Oakland leading the Dodgers 2-1.
This fellow's used to World Series competition. He's now pitched in 13 of the A's last 15 World Series games.
He pitched in 6 of the 72 series and another half a dozen last year. So Fingers picking up for Kenny Holtzman. Fastball. So 2 breaking balls, and then he ran the fastball on the hands to strike him out. He made some very big pitches. And now here's Joe Ferguson. Fergie walked in the 2nd inning. Walter Olson, accustomed to seeing the Dodgers try to scramble from behind. As he says, in his years in baseball, he's learned that nothing can surprise him. We'll see whether Fergie comes out swinging or not. Remember, he looked at 2 strikes and then went down swinging last time up. Half swing on a breaking ball, fouled away. All you have to do is see the way Fingers has worked Garvey and now Ferguson to realize just how tough he can be on those right-handers. He's inside their shirts. 0-1. Buckner at second, Wynn at first. 2 out. 2-1 Oakland. Fastball hit him, I believe. Yep. So Fergie to first, Wynn to second, Buckner to third. Watch it again. It'll tail in on him. Joe tries to get out of the way, but there's nowhere he can go. So So Ron Say coming up with the bases loaded, 2 out in the 5th. Oakland 2, Dodgers 1. Buckner at 3rd, Wynn at 2nd, Ferguson at 1st. Say hit into a double play in the 2nd inning and then singled in the 4th. Ronnie just missed having 100 RBIs during the year. He was overshadowed a little bit by Garvey and Wynn, but he was right on their heels. Ball 1. Say with Buckner at 3rd, Wynn at 2nd, Ferguson at 1st, 2 out. Oakland 2, Dodgers 1. Rolling fingers in relief of Kenny Holtzman. Fly ball to left field. Rudy is right there. Crowd looking at that with their hearts, and the Dodgers get a run, 2 errors, and a hit and leave 3. At the end of 5, Oakland 2, Dodgers 1. Game of the World Series sets an attendance record for Dodger Stadium. The paid attendance, 55,974, breaking the record by 21 people just set the other day against Pittsburgh. Sal Bando, ball 1. Bando is basically a high fastball hitter, but he's seeing a lot of breaking stuff. Fouls this one away, 1-1. Oakland scored in the 2nd inning on a home run by Reggie Jackson, picked up another in the 5th. Kenny Holtzman doubled, wild pitch to 3rd, and Campanera squeezed him over. Fouled away, 1-2. The Dodger run in the bottom half of the 5th. So we're in the 6th, 2-1 Oakland. Bando flied to left and struck out. Oh, the change got him. I mentioned earlier, looking at Andy every 4 days all year. This is the best we've seen him pitch in a long time. That's 7 strikeouts for Andy. So I start off the broadcast telling you how much I know about forget his strikeouts.
Then
he hasn't done any.
He established that fastball early, which was very important, I think, in his strategy. And now he's going a little more to the changeup.
Here is Reggie Jackson. Home run to the opposite field and walk. Ball 1. He's a low fastball hitter, so Andy started him up high. Ball 1. On deck, Joe Rudy. Comebacker. And that'll do it for Reggie. 2 down. Joe Rudy coming up. Their toughest out. Fine ball player. He had a base hit and struck out, 1 for 2. Joe has the reputation, among other things, of being a first ball hitter, so the Dodgers have to keep an eye about that.
Almost a self-made player, Vin. Worked at it.
Breaking ball strike. It seems like any unorthodox stance. It means the fellow had a lot of trouble as an orthodox hitter and has to overcompensate. 0-1. Boy, he really hit the edge that time. Fastball outside corner. The pitchers say he hit the black, the trim around the plate. Half swing foul. That'll go out of play. Messersmith has struck out 7. He has walked 3. And the difference now, he was bitten by that home run ball in the 2nd inning. 2-1 Oakland. 6th inning, 2 out. High pop fly. Russell calling, battling the glare. That'll do it. They're gone in order, and at the end of 5.5 innings, the score, Oakland 2, and the Dodgers 1. To start it off, then Steve Yeager and Andy Messersmith. Ball 1. Those who watch fingers all the time Now they see him working on a kid named Russell. They say that with all of his great stuff, when he falls into a trap is when he tries to pitch to spots. 1-1. In other words, if he just relaxes and lets his stuff do the talking, he is some pitcher. When he suddenly decides to nibble at the corners, then he gets in trouble. So we'll watch that. Big chopper wide to third. Bando across to first. 1 away.
Bando's not a flashy player, but a very solid player. Strong, accurate arm. Not a outstanding range, but when it gets to the ball, he has sure hands and knows what to do with it.
The great word they apply to him, steady. Yeager has singled and hit into a fourth place, 1 for 2. Fingers, fastball, curveball, and slider. Hit down the right field line, slicing on Jackson. No play. It's in the seats.
Watching Jackson run, Vinny, he ran very well toward the corner. He is not limping the way he was 3 or 4 days ago.
You know, we noticed when he came up in the second inning, we'll take a look at him.
The trouble comes in when he tries to start. Once he gets going and gets a smooth stride going, he's all right. But a fast start out of the box or after a ball might injure him.
He did some stretching in the on-decks earlier, and you could read his lips. He said, ouch. He hurt himself then. 1-1 to Yeager. Rolling Fingers with a long way to go now in relief for Kenny Holtzman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Missed inside. Ball 2. Outstanding relief pitcher is the only word for him. Fastball.
How do you like that wax job? Huh?
he looks like a man in search of a barbershop quartet. 2-2. Fastball. Down he goes. So Fingers makes that look easy. 2 down. And Andy Messersmith coming up. Messersmith has allowed 3 hits, 2 runs. As a hitter, he is 1 for 2. Singled and struck out. Hit on the hands and a fly ball to left center. Could be trouble. It's going to drop. So Joe Rudy gets it back in. So Messersmith was fisted and still able to push it into left center for a base hit. That means the Dodgers, spinning their wheels in the sand here, have had at least 1 hit in every inning.
Maybe we should put these pitchers up in the cleanup spot.
Davy Lopes coming up. The only inning in which the Dodgers did not leave a batter was the first inning when they had Buckner picked off. Lopes is struck out, fouled out, and aboard on the error by Campaneris. Fouled away. Davy is somewhat like Campaneris. If you give him a high fastball, he can surprise you. He hit 10 home runs this year. Messersmith right at the bag. He's no threat on the bases. Fingers going to throw over there anyway, but he doesn't take much of a lead. Breaking ball low, 1-1. Fingers a good fielding pitcher, so they have an extra infielder out there. Of course, you're in a lot of trouble if you have a relief pitcher who's a bad fielding pitcher. 1-1. Ball 2. Oakland leading 2-1 with 2 down, bottom of the 6th. Andy Messersmith at first. Tennis holding. came in with a couple of men aboard and proceeded to hit Joe Ferguson to load him up. And then he got saved. Now with 2 out, a base hit, and he's behind the Lopes. They let him swing 3-1. Remember, they took the bunt off and let Lopes swing 2-0 in the 3rd inning with 2 on, and that's probably the biggest gamble that failed so far in the game. So a full count and 2 down. Messersmith will be going from first. Little fly ball into shallow right center, but Jackson has to come and get it. North comes over with him, and it's North. And Jackson dropped to his right knee. So the Dodgers are gone on a base hit, and at the end of 6, 2-1 Oakland.
The Oakland A's wives, the fans, they had a little dispute last year, the wives. They were mad at their seats given to them in Shea Stadium in New York, protested, and Mr. Finley the next day moved them from upstairs downstairs. Always something going with the Oakland A's. Right now they have a 2-1 lead then as they go to the 7th inning in Game 1.
I guess in a sense it would be a combination of very good pitching on each side and Dodger futility. The Dodgers so far have left 9 men in 6 innings, while Oakland has left but 3. 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Oakland, 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. So Messersmith's pitching well, but it's not good enough up to here. Gene Tennis struck out and hit into a force play. Breaking ball down and away. Tennis, an excellent fastball hitter. 2-0. He missed again.
With Tennis at the plate, you'll see a lot of full counts, 3-2, because he walks a lot and he strikes a lot. Fouls those breaking balls off, trying to fend them off at times, Ben.
Well, see now the fastball for sure, and he got it over. Now we'll see if he'll gamble again against a good fastball hitter as opposed to the risk of walking him. On deck is Ray Fosse, the catcher. 3-1. Fastball, and he got stung. So you fall behind and you have to go to the hitter's strength, and it turns out to be a base hit. That's hit number 4 for Oakland, and it'll bring up Fosse.
Ray Fosse, catcher.
Oh, Fosse at the plate. Tennis at first, nobody out in the 7th. Oakland 2, Dodgers 1. Dodgers moving around in the bullpen. Breaking ball away. So they're expecting Fosse to bunt, and he missed with a breaking ball. That's Mike Marshall. And it comes as no surprise. 1-0. He got the bunt foul and actually hit that thing almost off his ear. 1-1. Watch it coming up inside.
I think he went after a bad pitch. Could have been 2-0. Couldn't bring the bat back.
One and one. Fosse the batter. On deck, Dick Green. They try and tie up Tennis. Bill Kunkel, in his first World Series, has had some dandy calls at first base. A foul, the bunt in the dirt behind the plate, and the count will be 1-2. Tommy Gorman gave it the quick call.
Been a bad week for Marshall, hasn't it? 1 inning, he's pitched all week. That's real vacation for him.
Yeah, he has to pitch a lot of batting practice if he's not in a game. I've seen a lot of excellent relief pitches, but it's incredible how a human body can take what it takes, but he's in there all the time.
He pitched 30 minutes of batting practice yesterday at the workout.
1-2 the count to Ray Fosse. He's still bunting. and fouled it, so he struck out. So they kept the bunt on twice with 2 strikes. It paid off once when Campanera squeezed home the run, but this time down goes Fosse. So that also means 8 strikeouts for Andy Messersmith. Dick Green struck out, grounded to third, 0 for 2. They like to play hit and run with Green. With the pitcher, Roland Fingers, due up next. We'll see if they have a hit and run play. Not in time. Yeager's taking his best shot at the runners. Watch the quick release of Yeager. He does not have to waste much time. It's gone, and it's down there in a hurry.
At first base umpire Bill Kunkel's had some close plays today.
Good reach to save the play. Bill Kunkel in his first World Series. Don Denkinger, the third base umpire, is also in his first World Series. Looper, and I think he cracked his bat. He'll have to get another piece of wood, and the count 0-2. It's the first World Series for all 3 American League umpires and for National League umpire Andy Olson. As we said, the old pro is the senior umpire of the National League calling balls and strikes, Tom Gorman. It is Gorman's 5th World Series, and 5 times he's worked behind the plate. He was a former left-handed pitcher in the New York Giants organization. Doug Harvey, the other National League umpire on the infield, is in his 2nd World Series. 0-2. Tennis opened up with a base hit. Fosse fouled out on the bunt. 0-2, the count to Green. Foul off. Roland Fingers on deck. 1 away. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Oakland 2, Dodgers 1. Standing at first with a base hit to left, Gene Tennis. Oh, and 2. Just missed. 1-2. For Andy, 8 strikeouts today. That's a high in over a month of pitching. Back in the middle of July, he struck out 10 expos. Fouled off. So Green making a lot of contact. He's a good bunter. They squeeze with him occasionally. They like to play hit and run. And he is seeing a lot of breaking stuff. Bobby Winkles telling him to get a pitch. 2-1 Oakland, 7th inning, 1 out. Gene Tennis at first. 1-2. Fouled away again. We told you about Yeager giving signs to Messersmith and indicating location. And Andy's laughing. It's not all life and death. Messersmith looked over at Garvey a minute ago, put his glove up to his face, and Garvey broke out into a big laugh. 1-2. There goes the runner, hit and run, and a fly ball into left field. Buckner has a play. We'll see if he one-hands it as usual. Nope, it's the World Series. 2 hands.
They say he made some marvelous plays this year in left field.
Kurt, I'll be honest with you, in 25 years of looking at baseball every day, I have never seen a player make so many dramatic and sensational plays in one season at one position as he made. Really, some of them bordered on the incredible. He hit the foul pole head on. Caught the ball, was knocked flat. It's just been that kind of a year.
Dives and tumbles and everything.
Incredible. Here's Roland Fingers. Fouled away. Boy, that's a pretty good tribute to Dick Green, though. He told you they like to play hit and run with him. He got nothing but breaking balls, Tony. Tough pitches to handle. He kept making contact. They played hit and run, and he got a good pitch and pulled it hard to left.
One time they thought he was going to be a good average hitter. He had some power on the high fastball.
Ground ball to say. He'll go the short way to Lopes. Little high, but it's the World Series. They're gone in the 7th at the end of 6½. Oakland 2-1. And both managers sweating it out. Alvin Dark, Walter Alston. The Dodgers will have Bill Buckner, Jimmy Wynn, and Steve Garvey. So the heart of their lineup coming up. Somebody has thrown a frisbee onto the field out there in right field, and Reggie Jackson clears it off.
Where's the dog?
Not yet. Oh, there goes one used frisbee. 2-1 Oakland. Bottom of the 7th. Here's Buckner. Single to left. Fly to left. Single to right. Right.
We're going to take a look again at that RBI single by Billy Buckner back in the 5th inning after an error by Campaneris.
Foul back. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
We'll see if we can give you that shot a little bit later, Vin.
All right, Tony. Fisted foul.
Okay, here's the Dodger run in the 5th. With Lopes on the move. They take advantage of the Jackson throwing arm as Tommy Lasorda keeps Lopes on coming for what is the only Dodger run so far.
Buckner really jammed that time. I'm surprised that bat didn't come apart. Fingers just ate him up. And the count 0-2. Buckner 2 for 3 today. Hit to left field. Rudy going back and has a play.
Right to him.
One away. Joy doing well out there. It is a very tough field to play, and he hasn't hesitated once.
He made one of the best catches in the history of the World Series 2 years ago off the bat of Dennis Menke, leaping up in the wall in Cincinnati, going away. His glove turned around, palm to the plate, crumpled to the ground with the ball. It was a tremendous catch. It'll always be remembered.
Well, here's Jimmy Wynn. He flied to left, hit into a force play, and walked. Kept it on top of him. Holtzman kept it away, and Jimmy trying to pull went 0 for 2. I'll give you an idea of the ballpark and the record-breaking crowd. 55,974 taken from overhead by the helicopter. That's a strike. 1-1 to Jimmy Wynn. One out, bottom of the 7th. 2-1 Oakland. Over 1-2. Boy, that is some shot from high atop Los Angeles, looking right down on the ballpark.
Then Sal Bando is really on top of that line now in the late innings against a right-handed batter at third.
Yeah, 1-run lead. They don't want an extra base hit. High fly ball to center field. Bill North is there and puts it away. 2 down.
Let's watch him against Steve Garvey now with 2 down. Bando at third.
Garvey went with Holtzman and singled to right. Then in the 4th inning, he grounded to short. And in the 5th inning, Fingers just gave him 2 good breaking balls down and away, and then rammed him with a fastball on the hands to strike him out. It was a classic bit of pitching applied by Roland Fingers to Steve Garvey. 2 out in the 7th, 2-1 Oakland. Fastball. So the last time up, you see guarding the line is Sal Bando. 2-1 Oakland in the 7th. He started him with breaking balls the last time, so he started him with a fastball this time. Breaking ball hit foul into the auxiliary seats.
And then we showed Sal Bando guarding that third base line. At this stage of the ball game, in a close game, that outfield has moved back pretty close to the warning track in almost all areas to protect those alleys from an extra base hit.
In fact, Jackson is remarkably deep in right, considering you have a right-hand hitter at the plate. He's almost in Pasadena. 0-2. Fastball and a chopper to Campaneris. Got him. So the Dodgers are gone in order. And at the end of 7, Oakland 2, and the Dodgers 1. Eighth inning, 2-1 Oakland. And Bert Campaneris, a first ball hitter, promptly hit the first ball into center field for a base hit. Of course, Campaneris hit the first ball he ever saw in the big leagues for a home run, so it's no surprise. Here's Bill North. That's hit number 5 off Andy Messersmith. North is a good bunter. Campaneris, a very good base runner, though we'll see what Dark decides. The Dodgers have Say on the grass looking for the bunt. And he takes ball 1. You can do a lot of things with North because of his speed. 2-1 Oakland, 8th inning. They're trying to get the maximum out of the minimum. Only 5 hits. Takes a strike. 1-1. Bill North, the hitter. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Charlie Huff, a knuckleballer, begins to throw. 1-1 to North. Campaneris getting back.
This is the setup the A's want now. They have their leadoff batter on, an outstanding base runner. North and Bando and Jackson to follow.
First time he's been on today. The bunt is down. Andy's play has to go to Garvey, and the sacrifice works. So they're 2 out of 3 in bunt attempts. They got a squeeze for a run, and now the sacrifice. That'll bring up Sal Bando.
Well, Ben, there's a lot of talk about all the controversy on the A's, but I think some fans forget they're fine professionals. They know how to execute and play the game, and they're all right into their prime now, 27, 28, 29 years old, young veterans.
Oh, sure. You put a bunch of athletes together from February into October. They're going to have some fights, disagreements, what have you. 0-1 to Bando. They have it in the office all the time, but they don't cover it in the press. Bando flied to left and struck out twice. 0-1. Big chopper. Say goes up to get it, sets and throws low and throws it away. And that's a 1 in a million play. Here comes Campaneris to score, and going all the way to third is Bando, and he's saved. Oh, we were talking about the accuracy of Ron Say's arm, and I would have to say that this is the World Series.
And he had to throw possibly a little off balance, although it looked like he righted himself quickly because the ball took a bad hop. Garvey then gets the ball, and he holds the ball just a little bit, and Sal Bando, who does not have speed, takes advantage of it. Garvey looked home, saw he did not have a play. No one yelled to him as he had his back to that home plate area.
Oh, it's a big run. But you realize now that Oakland, on a wild pitch, squeezed in a run, and on Dodger error, on Ron Say, pick up another. And they're too good a ball club to make as many mistakes as the Dodgers have made. Ball 1. The Dodgers have to play the infield up. You have Jackson at the plate and Rudy on deck. And it's 3-1 Oakland in the 8th inning.
Messersmith now really looking in, glaring into the Dodger dugout, saying, do you want me to put him on? What do you want me to do?
One thing, if you put him on with his bad leg, you would think, well, that's the time for Washington to come in and run. We'll see. Nope, they pitched to him. Strike. So Messersmith just battling now to stay in the ball game.
Alston has the 2 right-handers coming up, Rudy and Tennis. And they might set up a double play if they walk him. Gonna pitch from the stretch now, Ben.
1-1. High fly ball to shallow, well, medium center, and he should come home and score. Wynn makes one throw, and Ferguson took it with the better arm. The throw! They got him! Oh, what a play! Watch Ferguson now get in front of him.
This is a great throw. All the way on the fly. And what a block of home plate by Yeager. Look at that left foot planted.
I asked Jim Wynn if he had to make a hard throw, what would happen. Said my arm would draw up for the next 3 days. I could make one throw, and that's all.
What a magnificent throw by Joe Ferguson to double up the runner, and the A's get one at the end of 7½. Oakland 3, Dodgers 1.
The end of that play as Bando comes in with Ferguson making one of the best plays we've seen all year, Vin and Kurt. And the guts of Steve Yeager, the catcher, and blocking that plate and holding on to the ball. An amazing throw and an amazing block at home plate.
Early ovation for Ferguson. Yeah, Kurt.
Play like that could lift the Dodgers. They need it now. They're 2 runs down. We have a change in right field. Reggie Jackson is out. Claudell Washington now, as a defensive measure, goes into right field for Oakland.
We were talking earlier about Joe Ferguson being not very aggressive at the plate, but he certainly was an aggressive outfielder, knowing that he can outthrow Wynn. With Wynn calling, he just took it away. Ball 1. It is Oakland 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. The Dodgers 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error. Rolling fingers battling for the decision after Kenny Holtzman went 4 1/3. And so far, it's been Messersmith all the way. Ball 2. The pre-series guessing figured that fingers would be extremely valuable, though it is no surprise that he was called on early. He got the A's out of a jam in the 5th inning, getting Say for the 3rd out with the bases loaded. He allowed 1 man to get aboard in the 6th. On the corner, 2-1.
Then he has permanent wiring in his jaw. Back in the minor leagues in '67, his jaw was fractured. He still wears the wiring.
Ball 3. During the course of the year, more than any other Dodger hitter, Fergie would be allowed to swing 3-0. However, he's not been hitting that well, and they're down by 2. 3-1. He lifts a fly ball to shallow center. A late start by North, but he's there. You see him muttering to himself because he had no jump at all on the fly ball. But he's still fast enough to get there.
He'll be glad to go to Oakland.
Yeah, well, they play all-night games. Because they tell me at Oakland, it's just as bad, if not worse, in the daytime.
They have that bank of concrete, and they'll have shirt sleeve fans. And then, of course, left field, center field, especially left center is the sun field in Oakland.
Ron Say has been a pivotal figure in the game, both with the bat and the glove. With 2 on and nobody out in the 2nd inning, he hit into a double play. Ball 1. With 2 out and the bases empty in the 4th, he singled. With 2 out and the bases loaded in the 5th, he flied out. So he hit out a sink, and it's the big difference. Ball 2. So fingers behind twice. Paul Lindblad, the left-hander, throwing in the Oakland bullpen. Just in case. On the fists and foul back out of play. The Dodgers have 3 left-hand hitting pinch hitters, Joshua, Hopkins, and Crawford. Now that Washington is in the game, the A's have Holt. Fingers challenging the hitters. He's not going to give in. 2-2. Stayed right on top of him. Ball 3. When Say gets into a slump, it's not saying that he's in one now, but when he gets into a slump, he has a tendency to loop the bat and drop his right shoulder, consequently hitting a lot of pop flies and lazy fly balls. Ball 4. Well, that brings a tying run to the plate in Bill Russell. Dodger Stadium, the jewel of Los Angeles. And you're seeing it on a perfect day for exposure from high above Los Angeles. Russell grounded to short, singled a Bando's glove in the 4th inning, grounded to 3rd in the 6th inning. The Dodgers have had a man on base in every inning but the 7th. 3-1 Oakland. Bottom of the 8th, 1 away. Yeager on deck. Off speed and got the corner. Well, he's making some dandy pitches, his fingers. Say it first.
Interesting shot on that A's dugout. Reggie Jackson alongside Alvin Dark is positioning the young right fielder, Claudell Washington, with each hitter.
0-2.
There he is again. He's waving out to him. Jackson waving to young Washington.
What he was saying is 2 strikes on the hitter. Chances are he'll hit a little later. And be sure you throw to second base. Do not that tying run get in scoring position.
Well, down goes Russell. 2 down. And Steve Yeager will not hit. They'll go to Willie Crawford, left-hand hitting outfielder, to bat for Yeager. So Alvin Dark checking his lineup card, and here's Willie Crawford. Willie plays right field against right-handed starting and sits down against the left-handers. That's why Ferguson was out there. Of course, now he will stay in the game, and Ferguson will go behind the plate. So they'll go over the book on him.
For the Dodgers, batting for Yeager, number 27, Willie Crawford.
Willie hit .295 during the regular year. He has power. He has 11 home runs, 61 RBIs. Most of the National League pitchers like to keep the ball up and in on him, and he is very much susceptible to the strikeout on that pitch. In years past with the Dodgers, he showed remarkable power to left center, but we have not seen that this year at all.
I'd say the Dodgers probably have more depth coming out of that dugout, Ben.
I would think so. Fouled away. They're positioning the outfield. They want Washington, and they're moving him a little bit towards right center.
He doesn't know which way to turn. They move him from one to the other. He's saying, let me alone. This is my first World Series. I'm nervous enough.
And put him on a pulley.
He's only 20 years old and has played very little baseball.
Line drive down the right field line, and so much for positioning. And Say will go to 3rd. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So they moved him to right center, and Crawford pulled it into right. And Von Joshua will now come up to hit for Andy Messersmith. You might wonder why, with 2 out, did Crawford hit ahead of Joshua. Crawford has much more power. So they were hoping he might jerk one out. And there's Mike Marshall getting ready for the 9th inning.
Here's a man that started the season on the spot, Alvin Dark. All he did was replace Dick Williams, who had won 2 world championships. And with a volatile owner, he's expected to do the same thing. He has him in the World Series. There's Wes Stock, the pitching coach, marking his lineup cards. But Alvin Dark definitely started the season with the toughest managerial assignment.
Dark talking to Roland Fingers. Joshua does not have power. He has 1 home run. And he goes the other way a great deal. So Alvin going back to the dugout. So with 2 out, 1st and 3rd, here's the announcement on Von Joshua hitting for Andy Messersmith.
For Messersmith, number 12.
Reggie Jackson is still telling Washington where to play.
He stands out their arms. The kid will say, what do you want me to do?
What a ball club, huh?
They got him moving over to the right.
Boy, they're interesting to watch. They're really interesting.
All right, they played Joshua to go the other way, which is the way he goes to left field a lot. 2 out, 2 on. 3-1 Oakland, bottom of the 8th. 4-1. The Dodgers, with Say at 3rd, Crawford at 1st, have left 9 men and in danger of leaving 2 more. It's been a frustrating day for them. Ball 2. Rolling fingers is the big man, and nobody throwing down there now. If they didn't bring Lindblad in to pitch to Crawford or Joshua, there's no sense getting him up.
He's been behind nearly every hitter this inning. He's been behind 2-0 on 3 of the 4, and that's getting him in trouble.
2-0. Big chopper down to Dick Green. He got him. So for the Dodgers, no runs a hit. They leave 2 more, and at the end of 8, Oakland 3, and the Dodgers 1. Make the anticipated change. Willie Crawford stays in the game and goes into right field. Mike Marshall takes over on the mound, and Joe Ferguson, who had been in right field, is behind the plate. So if you're keeping score, Crawford stays in the number 8 spot. Marshall bats 9. And we go to the 9th inning. 3-1 Oakland. Marshall, who has not worked now in quite a while, will be pitching to Joe Rudy, then to Gene Tennis and Ray Fosse. Incredibly enough, he was in 106 games plus 2 more in the playoffs. He worked more innings than a lot of starting pitchers. He has his degree in kinesiology, which is the study of body movements. The bunt up along third. Say was deep. Barehand pickup. Off balance throw. Too late. So Joe Rudy lays down a dandy to greet Marshall with a base hit. We'll take another look.
And here's something that might not have been in the scouting reports of these Dodgers, that Rudy will at times lead off an inning, even though he does not have exceptional speed with that bunt. He caught him by surprise.
Tony, they say that bunting is a lost art, but the A's have really bunted beautifully today. They've had 3 sacrifices, and this bunt base hit by Rudy. Perfect bunting.
And the lack of the bunt, when they took the bunt off in the 3rd inning, turned out to be a losing gamble for the Dodgers. So the bunt, very important. Here's Tennis. 0-1. Tennis is struck out, hit into a force play, and single to left. Rudy with the bunt single is now 2 for 4. So he has 2 of the A's 6 hits. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for the champion A's. 1 run, 9 hits. 1 error for the Dodgers, who have left 11 men on base.
Jim Hunter's warming up out in the A's bullpen.
There's another bunt. Garvey hesitated. His play is to Lopes. 1 away.
This is a bunting clinic today.
Well, the pitching is so tough when you realize that 1 run is awfully big. And the batter with 1 out will be Ray Fosse. Down in the bullpen is knuckleballer Charlie Huff.
It would not be a surprise to see Alvin Dark bring Catfish Hunter in to pitch to 1 hitter or 2 or 1 inning, because you have an off day on Monday. They can come back after a couple of innings. Blue's scheduled to pitch tomorrow.
Marshall has a fastball, a screwball, and a slider. One out. Rudy at second. That's the screwball that missed. Ball 1. When Mike was with Montreal, we'd see him occasionally, and everybody was extremely conscious of the Scroogey. Dick Green on deck, watching him carefully. But when you see him almost every day, as we did, you're really impressed by his fastball. 1-0. There's the fastball. And Fosse was late on it. 1-1.
Then the A's are just 1 bunt away, a sacrifice bunt, from a World Series record. 5-1 games a record. The A's have had 4 today.
Yeah, they've been dabbing away outside of the home run by Reggie Jackson and the double by Kenny Holtzman. Rudy at second, 1 away in the 9th, 3-1 Oakland. Fastball fouled away, 1-2. Yeah, during the season, we'd always have the gag. It wouldn't be a Dodger ball game if you didn't have a hot dog, a soft drink, and see Mike Marshall. And, you know, when the Dodgers went into the season, everybody talked about the $1 million starting pitching. But he relieved 106 of the 162. 1-2 to Fosse. If you had to guess a pitch now, I would think slider. Screwball instead. 2-2.
Ben, we've seen the recent trend in World Series competition continue today. No complete game once again.
You know, actually, the word starting pitcher, that's all it means. Start. You don't finish half your starts anymore. Maybe a star will complete a third of his starts.
Stars are in the bullpen now.
And how? 2-2 to Ray Fosse. Slider fouled off. 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for Oakland. 1 run, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. The A's have left 5 up to here. The Dodgers have left 11. Mike Marshall relieving Andy Messersmith. Roland Fingers relieving Kenny Holtzman. 2-2. Fosse the hitter, Green on deck. 1 out. Fastball. So he's given him everything, and he hadn't been able to get him out of there. He had 2 strikes, threw a screwball, then a slider was fouled off, and he missed with the fastball. 3-2. Full count to Ray Fosse. That's Joe Rudy at second base, 1 away. Screwball hit down the left field line, foul. Back in the auxiliary seat, so it's still 3-2.
Then he not only throws a screwball, but different speeds of screwballs, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I loved his early remarks. Someone way back in spring training and the beginning of the season said, now how do you compare your screwball to Jim Brewer's and Tug McGraw? He said their screwball is in the infantile stage. Okay.
Slightly.
Okay. 3-2. Screwball, and he missed. I tell you one thing, he has not worked much, and his history has been Marshall is as effective as his frequency in appearance. So now they'll call Dick Green away. And the left-hand hitter left, Jim Holt, first baseman, will come up and hit for Green. So Jim Holt coming out of the A's dugout to hit for Dick Green with 2 on and 1 out. Holt, who came over to the A's from Minnesota, will be coming up in a minute. Jim is 30 years old. He's out of North Carolina. He was an outfielder with the Minnesota Twins and sometimes a first baseman.
Number 38, Jim Holt.
This will be Holt's first World Series. I should say a second in his first. He scratched away with Minnesota, and he has a chance now to be a big man. It's 3-1 Oakland, 9th inning, 1 away.
And Hunter is still warming up in the A's bullpen and throwing out there all inning.
We should say, too, when the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, they have Davy Lopes, Bill Buckner, and Jimmy Wynn. So Rudy at second, Fosse at first, 1 out, and Holt at the plate. He's struggling now, ball 1. Marshall pitched the last inning. There's your man. He pitched the last inning against the Pirates. But he has not had much work at all. The slider, and it's popped up, and it'll be Russell calling. The infield fly rule is called, and that'll be the second out.
Hunter set down, Ben, and now it's Dal Maxville loosening up his throwing arm to come in and play second base in the last of the 9th.
Here comes the relief specialist, Roland Fingers. So the 2 big men go head-to-head, Marshall and Fingers.
Boys, we got to play him now. Get a base hit. Rock, go.
The A's leading 3-1 in the 9th. Rudy at second. Fossey at first. 2 out in the ninth. 3-1 Oakland. 2 down. Slider hit off the end of the stick up along first base, and it goes foul. Tommy Gorman, the plate umpire, calling it 0-1.
Then when you mentioned the remark that Marshall made about the others' screwballs being in the infantile stage, he throws a screwball that I've never seen before. We did a pregame show on a Saturday ball game that actually breaks away from a right-handed hitter. It looks like a curveball, and one that breaks straight down and one away from a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, he was not trying to put anybody down. I mean, he was just saying that he had spent more time, more study on body motion and how to throw the screwball, and he just made a matter-of-fact statement. 0-1. Sidearm fastball. He doesn't do that too often. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Fossey watching at first. Rudy at second. 2 out. 0-2 to Roland Fingers. Messerschmidt struck out 8 today, but it wasn't good enough. Screwball missed. Ball 1.
The A's saw him in Seattle. Sal Bando remembers hitting against him back in '69 when Seattle had the 1 year in the American League. And Bando said he was just starting to perfect that screwball that season.
Well, you know, he played 4 years in the minor leagues as a shortstop. 1-2. Fastball drilled him. That'll do it. No runs, a hit to left. And at the end of 8.5 innings, Oakland 3, Dodgers 1.
Right now, Rollie Fingers is a pitcher of record. If he holds on to this lead, he would win the opening game of the World Series. But he's going to face the top of the Dodger batting order, Lopes, Buckner, and Wynn. They shut out so far for Fingers in 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits, and no runs.
Davy Lopes has struck out. Then came the biggest play in the 3rd inning. He had first and second and nobody out. He was around to bunt twice, and the count went to 2-0. They let him swing, and he fouled out. He was aboard on an error and flied to center. Dal Maxville is now at second base for Dick Green, and there's a strike to Davy Lopes. For Dal Maxville, it's his 22nd series game. That tops among players on the 2 clubs. 1-1. 3-1 Oakland. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Magnificent job by Roland Fingers, and he's accustomed to doing it. Fastball missed, ball 2. He is asked to pitch 4 2/3 innings today. He's got an inning to go. 2-1. Fly ball into center field. Bill North is there. 1 away.
And then, in case Fingers falters, Jim Hunter is warming up again out in the Oakland bullpen. That's the ace of the staff, a 25-game winner.
There's Bill North looking up into that glare. He's not had any good jumps on the shallow fly ball, but he picked that one off easily. 1 down, and Bill Buckner will be the batter. Our thanks to statistician Alan Roth, to production stage manager Jim O'Gorman, and field coordinator Huey McDermott, as we bring you first game of the '74 World Series. Ball 1. Buckner has singled to left and flied to left, singled to right and flied to left. So he's 2 for 4. Trying to get aboard for a power hitter on deck, Jimmy Wynn. Strike. 1-1. Jimmy waiting his turn. Record crowd today, 55,974. Breaking ball low, 2-1. Oakland 3, Dodgers 1, 9th inning. Buckner, the toughest to strike out on the Dodger team. And he popped it up. Campaneris coming out, and Rudy coming in. It'll be Rudy. 2 down.
And the A's continue the strong pitching that they had in the last 3 games against the Orioles. The 1 Dodger run today has been unearned. That was in the 5th inning.
The old story, good pitching always stops good hitting. Jimmy Wynn has flied to left, hit into a force play, walked and flied to center. For the Dodgers, a most frustrating day, since they have left 11 men on base. Only in the 7th inning did they fail to get a man aboard, and of course there are 2 outs here in the 9th. And for Oakland, they did what they had to do. They got a couple of breaks and they cashed them in. Ball 1. A 2-strike squeeze by Campaneris, squeezing home Holtzman, who had doubled. That was a big one. They got a gift run on the throwing error by Say, and in the big run, a home run by Reggie Jackson. So they haven't done much, but they have made it do. In there, 1-1. Rolly Fingers trying to pick up the victory. 1-1 to win. Ball 2. On deck, Steve Garvey. Wynn with 100 RBIs this year. He scored 100 runs. He walked over 100 times. He struck out over 100 times. He was busy. Fastball at the knees. Charlie Finley with 1 out to go.
Fingers has had an excellent fastball here in relief. Really firing it.
He's doing just what they said he could do. Breaking ball and a high fly ball into left center. Back goes Rudy to the wall. Leaps up. They bump together. And it is gone. Home run. Couldn't tell for sure. We'll look at that 3 different ways now, Kurt. See how close they came to catching it.
Rudy watching North come over. Up they go together. What a ballet shot this is. And it just cleared.
Now we'll see it another way. Here goes North and Rudy. Boy, you can't tell even there, can you? Now you can see it bounce.
And
one more time.
Angle. One more time. Look at them scissor across each other.
Boy, that was
Oh,
one
just
time.
nothing.
I would not have about to call that a home run until he was around third. They're looking in the glove to see if the ball is there.
All right, Darks come out to talk to Fingers. Now he has only a 1-run lead and 1 out to get, and a powerful Steve Garvey up.
Garvey is single to right, grounded to short, struck out and grounded to short. Comes up empty on that curveball, 0-1. So the Dodgers have 10 hits. Here's Rudy again looking in North's glove, and North said it's empty. He goes to right field. It's a base hit. Washington over to get it. And Garvey holding with his second single to right. So the Dodgers are still alive, and this record-breaking crowd roaring for Joe Ferguson.
Some of the fans have started for the exit. They've a hasty comeback. Now Alvin Dark coming out, looking to the bullpen. And he's going to bring his ace on, Jim Hunter, who pitched Tuesday. Jim Catfish Hunter, as his name was announced to the crowd, they went, ooh, bringing in a 25-game winner. This is the first relief appearance of the season for him. He pitched last Wednesday against the Orioles, 7 innings. Relief help from Fingers as the A's won the pennant. Now he's back in here again today because he's not scheduled to pitch until Tuesday night. 2 teams play here tomorrow with Sutton against Vida Blue, a 1 o'clock start on NBC Eastern Time, an open game date on Monday, and then they'll play Tuesday evening. So they're asking Hunter to come in and try and get this last out. But Chorik now is running at first base for Garvey, and Joe Ferguson is the man that Jim Hunter's going to face, Ben.
Catfish Hunter is not a particularly strikeout type of pitcher, but he has marvelous control, and he has full command of all of his pitches. One of the big reasons he keeps things down, and he will never give in on a hitter. He'll challenge him all the time. He'll stay on top of him. Joe Ferguson has walked and been hit by a pitch, struck out and flied to center. Peshorek at first, 2 out in the ninth, 3-2 Oakland. Fastball away, ball 1. Ray Fosse holding up 2 fingers to keep everybody in the ball game. 2 out.
This must be strange to him. 1 relief appearance in the last 5 years.
Ball 2. One thing, as a starting pitcher being pressed into relief, he had plenty of time to get ready. He was down in the bullpen longer than he would normally take to start a game. 2-0 to Ferguson. Peshorek at first, 2 out in the ninth, 3-2 Oakland. The Dodgers with 11 hits, but only 2 runs. 2-1.
Dark going all out. The opening game is important. The team that won the opening game has won the series 42 times. The other club 28. And you win the opening game as a visitor, all the more important.
2 balls, 1 strike. Half swing foul. He busted him right in on the hands. 2-2. Ferguson knows he's going to swing. Dark knows that Catfish throws strikes. And so does Walter Alston. 2-2 to Fergie, 2 out. 9th inning, 3-2 Oakland. Peshorek at first. Got him, and that'll do it. As the Catfish comes in and strikes out Joe Ferguson. And the Dodgers in the 9th inning settle for 1 run, a home run by Jimmy Wynn. 2 hits. They leave yet another man. They left a dozen. It'll be known as the Dirty Dozen in Los Angeles. And Alvin Dark and the Oakland A's. Squabbling made the headlines yesterday, but clutch pitching, timely hitting, and a better defense made the headline today. The totals, as you see, Oakland with 3 hits, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. The Dodgers 2 runs, 11 hits, and 1.